Ho 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 and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is not even a Christmas cap, it's some silly Asuka hat I got out of AliExpress for like $4 or $5. Anyways, my goofiness aside, today we are doing a tier list with all the anime of 2022. In no specific order. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Uncle from Another World is on my watch list, but I'm just gonna preface this by saying I have watched a lot of shows this season, but like, it feels like 90% of shows this season hasn't been bad. Usually we have one or two solid bangers. This season, I mean, look, it's a full-time job to keep up with everything, so lucky for me, I'm not into sports anime, which we had a few ones of. There's only one which I've talked about in shorts, so if you're a dedicated fan, you already know. Otherwise, become a dedicated fan for the next tier list and the suspense would be gone, which I guess kind of is a bad thing. Whatever. Shikimori-san is not just a cutie. B tier, obvious B tier. It's not bad. It's pretty wholesome, pretty good. But would I watch the second season of it? Probably not. It wasn't that enticing. By the way, as you notice, I'm still sick, or not still sick, but I had COVID, and I'm still a bit coughy, and my nose is dribbling a bit. So I have some julmust for whenever my throat feels a bit dry, and we'll hope that will solve itself. I don't know what this is, I haven't watched it, but I'll try to, of course. Anytime I cough or stuff, I'll cut that out. Ranking, no. Mob Psycho, obvious S tier, not even a question about it. Mob Psycho is so obvious S tier, maybe even best. You know what, in the end of this video, I'll also tell you which anime is the best one of this season, but Mob Psycho is definitely up there. It would be so bad, I haven't watched it, but it would be so bad if I knew what this name was without having watched it. I think it was something like, My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. That's the title, right? Or something like that. We'll see. I'll leave the official title up here and we'll see if I was right. I don't know what this is. This one I heard Giga talking about, but when it was released, it felt like people weren't really talking about it. And honestly, it's just been one of those, as I said previously, we've had so many good seasons, animes this season, so a lot of shit has just been going into my backlog, including Cuckoo's Nest. I don't even know what it is, honestly. I don't know what that is. And is this Akiba made sailor uniform? We'll see, but I haven't watched it. I used some clips from this, but I haven't seen it. Lyrical Recoil, right? Yeah, haven't seen it. Now you might think I watched Rising of Shield Hero Season 2, since I made a video on the Rising of the Shield Hero, but I haven't. Honestly, after the whole R-word plot was solved, I kind of lost interest. I wasn't really invested in the world and the characters that much. All I wanted was to see how that would end up, and well, once that resolution was over, I just dropped it, so I haven't watched it, and I probably won't watch it, so. I don't know what this is, looks super interesting though. Ranking of Kings is amazing. It's one of those anime I think a lot of people look at and they don't watch it. I'm guilty of this as well, my friend had to convince me. Because of the art style, but the art style is, you know, when in the show it works, it's just, but when you look at it from outside, it looks like, oh, is this for children? This looks really unserious, stuff like that. The first A tier goes to My Dress Up Darling. Best wife of the season. I'm gonna admit something. It's the first time since puberty that I had a serious anime crush. Even when I watched Evangelion as an adult, I memed about it in my latest video I published yesterday about AI art, that Asuka was my wife from Evangelion, but that wasn't even, that was the same feeling as I got from Martin. This was like a serious crush, you know, so that was an interesting experience. Spy X Family, also solid. It does have good action, it does have cute rom-com moments, and it's, you know, overall a pretty good show, but is it, you know what, if Marin goes into My Dress Up Darling goes A tier, Spy X Family goes A tier. That's how I'm gonna reason around it. If you don't agree with me, fine. Tomodachi Game. First, look, C tier is acceptable, D tier, that's when things start getting not acceptable. E tier, throw it in the garbage. And I will put it in D tier. It's not really where I would put it in garbage. If I had nothing else to watch, I guess I would watch Tomodachi Game. But specifically during this season, and really overall, Tomodachi game just does not hold the bar. It, in my opinion, it went too quick through the plots. We had barely had time to think of who was the traitor before the traitor was revealed to us. Things like that, and this edgy, quote-unquote edgy play that goes around it. I don't know, it just didn't feel that good to me. Attack on Titan is always going to be S tier though, so, you know, no arguments there. That's my redemption. I don't know what this is, honestly. This looks like a manhwa of some sort. I don't know what it is. I'll put it not watched. 86 has been on my watch list for quite some time, but for those who have followed me, you know I've had a tough time at work, and I know myself. When I finished Evangelion, I was depressed for weeks. When I finished the first season of 86, I was depressed. I was sad. I was depressed. So I didn't want to put myself into that in that situation, so it is on my not watched list. I've heard it's just as good as season 1, which means I'll probably rank it A tier. But yeah, I haven't had time to watch it yet. Haven't watched that. Engage Kiss, haven't watched. Now, I was hyping My Hero Academy when it first came out. I was hyping it like crazy. I'm probably one of the bigger My Hero Academy fans, to be honest. And then there was one arc, and it wasn't even this season's arc. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But when they had their training arc, and they were running around, and they were just fighting each other in teams for like 8, 9, 10 episodes, I just dropped it. I couldn't find interest after a while. So I'll put it in not watched, because I haven't finished watching the season. So I can't remember if I think it was like at the beginning of the season that happened. Chainsaw Man. Okay, please don't judge me for this, but I can't justify putting it into S tier. And the reason I can't justify putting it into S tier is pretty simple. Hear me out. So the reason Chainsaw Man is it's like the highest in A tier, but it does have some flaws that are incredibly apparent. It has certain scenes that people would hate when they happen in Jujutsu Kaisen, and all of a sudden they were okay now that they happen in Chainsaw Man. And I'm not saying that you can't like or dislike certain art styles. All I'm saying is I can't put it next to Mob Psycho. I can't put it next to Ranking of Kings. I can't put it next to Attack on Titan. It isn't that good. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And I have both praised and criticized Chainsaw Man in the past. Oh, I remember what this one is called. Not Quite Lovers, whatever. Haven't watched it. It's in my watch list. And this just, once again, that's a show I would probably love to watch. I haven't watched it because, well, that's the way it is. Bleach. Maybe this is my prejudice, my assumptions that's ruining this for me, but I assume that you would have had to watch everything else in Bleach leading up to the Blood War to enjoy the Blood War. And since I think I would have loved Bleach, I mean, it is the second highest ranking anime of all time, so really it would deserve to be here. But since this is a personal, subjective list, remember, subjective, I will have to put it there. I'm sorry. Blue Lock. I will put it next to Chainsaw Man. Honestly, Blue Lock is I made a video on this as well, but where I said like Blue Lock is the one that deserved to break the internet. It was and is really solid. It has great examples of how to use CGI good, which was a controversy surrounding Chainsaw Man. It has great action, and one thing just personally, remember I said I don't like sports anime, and to be honest, that could also influence maybe the Tomodachi game one. Is that I'm not a super fan of death game shows either, but I loved Blue Lock, so that kind of says something about how good it really is. Speaking of Made in Abyss, I haven't actually watched the second season, but this one gets a freebie. You know why it gets a freebie? Because I've heard everyone praising it, and I love the first season, and it's really cool and unique. However, I don't know how high up it will go for me, so if we had a B+, I'd put it there like B and above, but we'll just put it in B, and keep in mind it could have been an A, could have been an S if I'd actually seen it. Overlord, A tier. Now, Overlord is great. It's it has a very interesting way of dealing with the power fantasy, because power fantasy can usually get pretty boring after a while. You know, how long can we watch a super powerful guy before it's like, okay, we get the idea, he's gonna beat him. There's not even gonna be a contest, is there? Then we got Sabikui Bisco. Now Sabikui Bisco is probably the highest up in B tier, maybe even furthest, you know what, furthest down in A tier. And the reason it's so high ranked for me is that it was just fun. It was crazy fun. If you could get in the mindset to enjoy Sabikui Bisco, you had a great blast watching it. And it had some great action, a Terminator reference, stuff like that. I just really liked it. It was fun. Certainly not an anime you should take too seriously. I haven't seen it. Love is War. I honestly think Love is War is that good. I mean, I made a 10-minute video praising it for a reason. And you know what? I'm not gonna go into detail. I just love it. If you want to know why, in the end, you'll get to see it. I'll link it. Haven't seen this one. Spike's Family Season 1 goes next to Season 2. Same shit. Rent a Girlfriend. Look. Rent a Girlfriend is not a show you watch for the story. It's a show you watch for the waifus. And it has some solid waifus. It really does. Ah, here we got Akibe made sailor uniform, which is in my watch list, unfortunately. As I said, this, like, look, these are all seasons that, like, I'm impressed by myself that I have watched all of this. Okay, apart from that. Komi-san can't communicate. I think it goes above Shikimori-san. I don't know if it's necessarily A tier, but it's certainly, look, it's either very high B or very low A. It's somewhere between there. Gundam Witch from Mercury, I've seen has got like some insane ratings. I am a Gundam fan, I just haven't gotten into a lot of Gundam and I haven't seen that, so yeah, sorry. Aharen-san, fuck it, I'll actually put it there. I'll put it in front of Shikimori-san is not your cutie. I think Aharen-san is really wholesome. It's happy, it made me happy watching it. Enjoyable show. I haven't seen this one. Bocchi the Rock is a very recent show, so I haven't had time to watch it, but I've heard it's really good. Haven't had time to watch that one. Haven't actually even it in my watch list, and I haven't watched it. This one is one anime I've wanted to watch for a long time, but I'll come to why I can't in just a tiny bit. Haven't watched this. You know what? These are just some like minor ones that not a lot of people are talking about. And then we come to the two final ones, which is Demon Slayer, which yeah, goes above Chainsaw Man honestly in A tier. It was amazing. And then we have of course Cyberpunk Edge Runner, which will get an S tier. Now I don't think I need to explain why I'm rating Demon Slayer highly. Possibly some will say, why aren't you giving it an S? But look, everyone talked about Demon Slayer, everyone watched Demon Slayer, everyone loved Demon Slayer. Everyone is gonna watch the next season of Demon Slayer. It's nothing, you know, to talk about really. Personally, I felt in the Entertainment District arc, Tanjiro's power boost was never really explained. It felt really uncalled for, and that's what makes me personally put it in A tier instead of S tier. Other than that, the whole arc was great. And Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which I have a pretty personal relationship with in terms of this channel. This channel really has its backbones on Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's half the channel's views. A lot of you probably came from there subscribing to this channel. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a season 2, but you know, who knows, maybe in the future. Anyways, that was all of them, and if I had to pick a winner, of course it would be Love is War, so I'll link my review to Love is War up here. If you want to help support the channel, please leave a like, Patreon, or use the affiliate link down below to NordVPN. With that said, thanks for watching. Bye!